So let's start today's session. Uh, we were discussing about unit number 3, of which we have completed the part of curve fitting. Then, then we have covered two topics from interpolation. The first one was Lagrange's interpolation, and the second one was Newton's forward difference method. Now, in today's class, we will be completing first inverse interpolation, and then in the latter section we will go for flow charts of curve fitting and try to cover the flow chart of Lagrange's interpolation. So first, today we will start with the inverse interpolation. Now, but before starting inverse interpolation, a quick recap. Interpolation means finding the value of x based on the value of y based on the value of x. Now we have learned two methods to do interpolation, and we have also seen when to use them. The first one was Lagrange's interpolation. Now Lagrange's interpolation can be used for any type of interpolation, but a Newton's forward difference method or Newton's difference method formula are used only when the step size is uniform or constant. That means x2 minus x1 equal to x3 minus x2 equal to x4 minus x3. So the increment between the values of x, if that increment is constant, then and then we can use Newton's method to do the interpolation. But in the case of Lagrange's, there is no enforced rule. Even for unequal intervals, we can use the Lagrange's interpolation. Now, going back to the definition of inverse interpolation. Inverse interpolation, opposite of interpolation. उल्टा करना पड़ता है. In inverse interpolation, what we have, a output parameter y is given to you, and you need to calculate corresponding dependent parameter or input parameter, that is x. So y दिया जाता है और x निकालते हैं. In general case of interpolation, x will be given to you, and by handling the data, the precise data, you come up with the value of y. But in the case of inverse interpolation, y, that is desired output, is given to you, and based on that you need to come up with the input parameter x. For example, you are driving a car. Okay, so your target is to get the speed or achieve a speed of 100 km per hour. So your desired output is known to you कि भाई मुझे speed चाहिए 100 का, and the input will be the movement of accelerator. Accelerator कितना दबाना पड़ेगा, so that much amount will be your input. So जब उल्टा करते हो, we call it as a inverse interpolation. Now here, due to the limitation of Newton's forward method, we cannot use Newton's forward method to do inverse interpolation, because Newton forward में क्या है कि जो आपका data है, it should have equal step size. But in case of output y, terms of y, generally you will not observe the equal interval or equal step size, constant step size. In case of input parameter, as this is our the parameter which we play with, that is your input parameter, we can control the input parameter. You can have equal step size, but output पे आपका control नहीं है. It is governed by the function. So that's why in most of the cases y or the y values of y will not have any kind of equal spacing. Okay, so that's why instead of going for Newton's forward difference method, whenever you have inverse interpolation problem, you use Lagrange's approach. Now this topic is very easy to understand. Simply what we need to do, we need to just change the x terms with y term from the Lagrange's interpolation formula. That's it. जहां जहां पे भी आप वो फॉर्मूला में x दिखाई देगा उसकी जगह y लिखो, y जहां पे होगा वहां पे x लिख दो, and you have to follow the same procedure which you do follow for normal Lagrange's interpolation. Okay, so let's see. So assume that this is your data, and here we need to find out the x value. Okay, so unknown is input x, and some value of y will be given to you. So corresponding x value you need to evaluate. Precise data is given, and applying Lagrange's interpolation formula, we should be able to calculate the x value. Okay, so we have seen the Lagrange's interpolation formula. It was in a simpler term. It was something like this: y equal to y1 L1 plus y2 L2 plus dash yn xn. So this was your formula for Lagrange's interpolation. ठीक है, और ये डिराइव किया था हमने based on this equation. Okay, but as we are dealing with the inverse interpolation, what we can do, just change the output y by x. So instead of y, use x value, and whenever you have x, change it to y. That's it, and you have to follow the same methodology. So if you are dealing with the inverse interpolation, so this your usual interpolation formula in a simpler term will become x equal to x1 L1 plus x2 L2 plus so on up to xn Ln. Next, here x values are available in your data sheet. It is in the problem statement. Now the target will be calculating L1, L2, L3. We know the formula for calculating L1, but it was in terms of y. Just change करना है हमें. Sorry, it was in the terms of x. We need to change it to y. That's it. Okay. So here x की जगह हमने y लिख दिया. Same formula है, same equation. Okay. So based on this formulation, you will calculate L1, L2, L3. From the data sheet, you will calculate, or you will get x1, x2 up to xn. Do the multiplication, have summation of all the term. It will give you the value of x unknown. Okay, so we'll try to implement that in the numerical. So the present table gives you a data regarding x and y. X is input, y is output, but in the problem statement they have asked you to calculate value of x based on value of y. Okay, so y is 12. So here it might be, we need to find out x kitna rahega, how much will be the x value. Okay, now we know that as y is given, that means we need to perform an inverse interpolation, okay, using Lagrange's approach. So we'll do that. First step, we will call the formula of Lagrange's, this complicated one, but instead of using that, we'll use the expanded form, which is easy: x equal to x1 L1 plus x2 L2 and so on. Here x1 is 1.2, x2 2.1 and same. So up to xn, that is 6.2, you can call them. But the problem is, what are the values of L1, L2, L3 up to Ln? So we will sort it out. First we will target that complicated part, L1. पहले L1 calculate कर लेते, and similarly we will calculate remaining term. So this data is given in the problem statement. We know how to calculate L1. L1 का equation आपके पास है. Now we know for y equal to 12, we need to calculate L1, L2, L3. So instead of using simple term or variable y, I'll put the data 12. So 12 minus y1, 12 minus y3 and so on. ऐसे फॉर्मूला बनाते थे। और मैंने लास्ट लेक्चर में आपको बताया था, सॉरी लास्ट टू लास्ट लेक्चर, use calculator effectively to solve with less time this kind of numerical, Lagrange's interpolation or curve fitting. Okay, so for calculator even you can skip this step, directly prepare a formula for your calculator. Now this formula you need not to write in a solution. Okay, this is just for the understanding. तो हम क्या करेंगे कैलकुलेटर में, कैलकुलेटर के लिए we will use this format or this formula. So 12 in case of y, then f. Now here there are around 6 terms, so I need 6 variables a, b, c, d, e, f. Okay, so f, what I'll do, f will be my target variable. That means when I need to calculate L1, okay, so whenever I need to calculate L1, give me a minute, just I'll clear this screen. Okay, so whenever I need to calculate L1, L1 correspond to first data point, okay. So I'll take this one as a f, so this will be my value of f, 4.2, and remaining values of y will be a, b, c, d and e. Okay, so I'll use this formula. We have seen the demo of this in the previous lecture. So we are going to type this formula in the calculator. Then whenever it asks me the value of f, I need to be careful, need to prepare or need to enter the correct value of f. Baki a, b, c, d, e may you can change the sequence. You can write this 19.6 as a, this as a b, doesn't matter. Okay, important part is you need to cover all the y's, but f should be entered correctly. Okay, so in case of L2, अगर आपको L2 find करना है, L2 depends on data number 2, so this 6.8 should be f, and remaining values of y should be a, b, c, d and e. Okay, so I'll give you some time to do the calculation. As we have seen the method of Lagrange's, so I know all of you can solve this numerical. After calculating various values of L1, L2, L3 using calculator, you need to enter it into the expanded series of Lagrange's, x equal to x1 L1, x plus x2 L2 and up to x6 L6. So here x1, x2, x3 up to x6 you will get from the data. L1, L2, L3, L4, L5, L6 you will get from the calculator. Okay, so all the data, all the terms you calculated right now, after that put all the values in this equation of x and get the unknown x. Okay, so I hope all of you have understood this. Try this numerical. I'll send you a link of Google form where you need to enter your roll number, attendance along with your answer, solution of this numerical. For any doubt you can ask me. So try this numerical. The problem statement is available in the Google form. The procedure is in front of your screen. Use the calculator to do the calculation for else. Then take the data of x, put that L1, L2, all the values of L and x in this equation and calculate x. Okay, so after calculating of value of x, put the output in the Google form along with your roll number. I hope all of you have entered your answer in that Google form. So let's proceed with the last part. Actually, our unit, the theory part of the unit is over. Now, when you go for the programming, you should be able to have the knowledge of algorithm or a flow chart for given methods, numerical methods for interpolation as well as for curve fitting. So what we will do, we'll start with the curve fitting. We will prepare one algorithm, a flow chart, which will help you to write a program for uh, curve fitting. Okay, so we'll start. Uh, in curve fitting, we have learned four different methods, four different forms of equation in which we fit the data. The first one was linear regression or straight line equation of a straight line. The second one was quadratic equation or equation of a parabola. Next was power equation, and last one we have studied is a exponential equation. Now, more or less, all the methods are derived with linear regression and they driven with similar kind of equation. So if you get a good knowledge about one equation, how to write a flowchart or how to write a program for a particular equation, by doing smaller modification or by replacing few values, terms, you will be able to come up with the flowchart for a remaining method. So what I'll do, instead of going through all four core fittings flowchart, I'll explain you the flowchart for a straight line equation. Now, based on that, you can come up with your own algorithm for remaining method. So try to understand how we have prepared the algorithm for straight line equation. Now we know that the equation of a straight line is equal to y equal to a0 plus a1x. Now the input for the numerical of a curve fitting is what? Data of y and data of x. So your algorithm flowchart will start with reading data of x and y, or input of x vector and y vector. If you are dealing with a MATLAB, you are going to provide the data of x and y as a array or a vector. ठीक है, तो एज्यूम करो आपने क्या किया, वो x इक्वल टू 1 2 3 4 5 आपने दे दिया, y का अलग से एक वेरिएबल बनाया और उसमें भी आपने सब डेटा ऑफ y यू हैव एंटर. नाउ नेक्स्ट स्टेप कैसे सॉल्व करेंगे? वी नो दैट our ultimate aim is to calculate value of a0 and a1. So if I get value of a0 and a1, I get the equation of a straight line. Okay, so to get this a0 and a1 value, we have these two equations. Okay, now in that these two equations, if I come up with all the coefficients of a0 and a1 along with constant from the right hand side, I will be able to calculate a0 and a1 by solving these two equations simultaneously. Okay, now as we are going to implement a flow chart or procedure in a MATLAB, so we'll try to prepare a flow chart which is acceptable to MATLAB, which will be easy for us to do or to write a program in a MATLAB. So as you know, MATLAB is a matrix laboratory, so we will express these two equations as a matrices. ठीक है, तो देखो मैंने यहां से क्या किया, based on these two equation I have prepared the matrix form of these two equations, and this we have done plenty of time in unit number 2 simultaneous equation. ठीक है, so आपने क्या किया, एक coefficient matrix बना लिया, then you have this constant vector, a unknown vector or vector consists of unknown terms. Okay, now when I need to fit this equation, this format in of a matrices in the MATLAB, I need to assign variables. ठीक है, तो सिंपली क्या करता हूं मैं, ये जो कोएफिशिएंट मैट्रिक्स है ना, I'll name it as a कैपिटल A नाम दे दूंगा इसका. ठीक है, उसके बाद क्या करते हैं, ये जो कांस्टेंट वेक्टर है, वेक्टर ऑफ कांस्टेंट, we will assign d as a variable name and we will enter in the MATLAB. Then the unknown coefficients a0 and a1, this vector we will name it as a c. ठीक है, so a d enter करेंगे, then to find out अपना aim क्या है, ये c find out करना है which consist of actual desired coefficient a0 and a1. ठीक है, so first क्या करते, c को find करते, So this format is A into C equal to D. To calculate C, just I need to do what? D divided by capital A. That's it. If I do somehow D divided by A, I will be getting C vector. Now in that C vector, A0 is located where? C1, right? इसका एड्रेस क्या है? मैंने प्रैक्टिकल में बताया था, मैटलैब में मैट्राइसेस के एड्रेसेस. सो A0 का एड्रेस क्या है? दिस A0 lies in C matrix. So कॉल करेंगे C matrix which is located at row number 1 column number 1. So row number 1 column number 1. Now C is having only one column, so no need to provide column number. Directly आप क्या करोगे? अगर C1 लिखोगे, automatically he will call the value which is calculated here. Similarly, if I say A1, A1 का एड्रेस क्या है? It is located at C matrix and the address is 2, element number 2 or row number 2 column number 1, both are same. So this is the way we do calculate A0 and A1. Now here the problem is, if we try to solve this C equal to D by A, D is a vector and A is a matrix of 2 by 2. So we know that this matrix division is not possible, but you can do the matrix division by a procedure. एक inverse calculate करते हैं, उसके बाद adjoint वगैरह calculate करते हैं. We do calculate division also, but in the MATLAB there is a direct feature to do to solve division. यहाँ पे सिर्फ उल्टा लिखना पड़ता है. Whenever we need to calculate D by A in a MATLAB, you need to write C equal to A is at the denominator of D. So whenever you use this forward symbol or this division symbol, MATLAB will know कि भाई यहाँ पे मुझे मैट्रिक्स का डिवीजन करना है and he will execute that program for matrix division. But थोड़ा ये confusing हो सकता है. यहाँ पे लिखते टाइम we write it like that, like in this way. A is at the denominator of D. ठीक है. So same way you will complete the algorithm. तो जो मैंने एक्सप्लेन किया वो मैंने एल्गोरिथम में लिखा है. I'll enter A equal to this vector, D equal to, sorry, A equal to matrix, D equal to vector, C equal to D by A. But when you write in a MATLAB, it will be DA / D. Then A0 equal to C at 1, A1 is equal to C at 2. And that's it. After that, you will use fprintf command to print A0 and A1 value. So this is your curve fitting ka program, or sorry, flowchart for straight line equation. So what you do, take a screenshot of this and keep it ready whenever we face programming of curve fitting. You are going to write a program based on the given presented flowchart. If you guys have any kind of doubt, you can ask. Otherwise, we will go ahead with the Lagrange's interpolation. Now remember, I am not going to explain the flowchart for power equation, exponential equation, and a quadratic equation. The reason is the remaining three are just modification of given flowchart. So for example, if you are dealing if you are going for parabolic equation, तब क्या होता है, ये जो वेक्टर है चेंज हो जाता है. It is n summation of x summation of x square, then summation x summation of x square summation of x cube summation of x square sum x cube sum x raised to 4. बस ये instead of writing 2 by 2 matrix, you will write 3 by 3 matrix. Similarly D में भी क्या होगा, और एक टर्म आ जाएगी summation of x square y. Here when you calculate c equal to d by a, it will have three values: a0 at c at 1, a1 equal to c at 2, and a2 equal to c at 3. एंड यहाँ पे फॉर्मूला आपका बन जाता है a2, that's it. So ये हुआ आपका पैराबोला, and similarly you will go for remaining term. Okay, now how to come up with this summation वगैरह, it's very easy in the MATLAB. So when we go with the program, I'll explain how to use sum command. Now we will proceed with the Lagrange's interpolation, but to understand the Lagrange's interpolation clearly, I'll try to go for two small numericals. If you understand these two concepts, तभी जाके आपको interpolation का part will be very easy for you. Otherwise, you might feel कि कहीं पे थोड़ा understanding में issue हो जाएगा. Okay? Now, whatever I am going to explain, the concept which I am going to tell you with the example, you might have seen the same kind of concept in प्रोग्रामिंग पार्ट. जब आपने फर्स्ट ईयर या सेकंड ईयर में फंडामेंटल्स ऑफ प्रोग्रामिंग सीखा होगा तब आपको हुआ होगा, बट some of you might not be that much convergent towards the programming. So for them I am going to show you two small concepts, and based on that you are going we are going to develop a logic behind Lagrange's interpolation. So I'll open a MATLAB. Now see, first understand the problem statement. ठीक है, मेरा प्रॉब्लम है आई हैव द डेटा ऑफ एक्स, ओके, एंड somehow I need to sum all the values of x square. ठीक है, summation of all the values of x square. I need to perform this. Now there are some shortcut commands for doing this summation, but here the focus is about the logic, how the program or how we can use a logic to do this small summation. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll assign a variable name for this xi square or x square as a y. Okay, and remember y is nothing but summation of all the values of x का square. ठीक है, चलो ट्राई करके देखते हैं कैसे डेवलप करेंगे इसके लिए. Now some of you might find it very easy to do. So here I'll say a for command because I know how many iterations I need to do. For I equal to 1 2, कितने x values है, I'll count 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10. So there are 10 x values. So my loop is going to start with 1, it will go up to 10. After that the formula governing equation is y equal to x square. ठीक है, enter in. So if I do like this, sorry, x of I, क्योंकि एक एक वैरी होना चाहिए. Now try to understand, if I write up to this portion, what is happening in the program? So program will start CLC करेगा, clear करेगा memory, उसके बाद वो it will prepare a vector of x in the workspace with values x1 equal to 12, x2 equal to 24 and so on. Then line number 5 will get executed for I equal to 1. So in the memory I का value 1 है. Then it will execute line number 6, y equal to xi square. I मतलब 1, so x1 का square मतलब 12 का square. Then line number 7 says end, means it will rerun, it will go for next iteration. So again line number 5 पे आ जाएगा. For now I becomes 2, so for second iteration I becomes 2. y का फॉर्मूला क्या है, x of i, so i is 2, उसका स्क्वायर इक्वल टू मतलब 24 का स्क्वायर. So what is happening here, for each iteration y value is getting updated, नया वैल्यू बन रहा है. ठीक है, I'll just show it. So for each value of x he is calculating y value. So 24 का स्क्वायर 576 and like this 35 का 1225. So for each iteration y value is varying. Now coming back to the problem statement, what I need this x1 square plus x2 square plus x3 square. So लूप में जो भी वैल्यू कैलकुलेट होगा y का, उसमें नेक्स्ट इटरेशन का वैल्यू ऐड करना है. फिर दोनों मिला के तीसरा जब इटरेशन होगा उसमें पहले दो इटरेशन के वैल्यूज ऐड करने. सो दिस इज माय प्रॉब्लम. सो वी कैन टैकल दिस विथ सिंपल मॉडिफिकेशन. व्हाट आई विल डू हियर, y इक्वल टू एक्स स्क्वायर है ना, तो यहां पे लिख दूंगा और एक बार y, बिकॉज आई एज्यूम दैट दिस y is calculated in the previous iteration. ठीक है, but when it's calculate the first iteration, first iteration, the problem is y is not defined in the program. So थोड़ा और एक दिमाग लगाते थे, for loop से पहले y का वैल्यू 0 सेट कर देते, so it will not have any kind of effect on the actual calculation. Now with these two modification, what modification we have done, we have added the same term जो आपने y equal to equation लिखा है ना, we have added the same term, and before this loop start we have assigned the value of the variable equal to 0, so that the program will not prompt you any kind of error undefined variable y. Also this y will be used as storage space. जो भी प्रीवियस कैलकुलेशन होगा वो स्टोर करके वो रन करेगा. नाउ आई विल एक्सप्लेन यू हाउ दिस वर्क्स. सो सीएलसी से क्लियर हो जाएगा, क्लियर से वर्क स्पेस डिलीट होगा, एक्स लाइन नंबर 3 से मेमोरी में एक्स वेक्टर प्रिपेयर होगा. देन ड्यू टू लाइन नंबर 4 मेमोरी में y का वैल्यू विल बी सेट टू 0. देन line number 5 will execute for I equal to 1. So let's start with I equal to 1. It will calculate y equal to y plus x of I square. Now he will put all the data. So y is nothing but 0 and x1 will remain same as a x1, 12 का square. So in workspace memory y is now x square or 12 का square, x1 square. Then again loop will start, second iteration I equal to 2. It will calculate y equal to y equal to y कितना है, x1 का square और 12 का square, plus next is x of I का square. So how much is x of I, x2 मतलब 24, so 24 का square. So this amount will be stored in the memory instead of 12 का square. Now it will become 12 square plus 24 square. Then iteration number 3 चालू होगा, I equal to 3, y equal to y, right, first term y क्या है, 12 square plus 24 square, so 12 square plus 24 square plus next is x of I मतलब x3 square, x3 is 35, so 35 का square. Okay, and it will continue like this. At the end you will have only one value of y, which is nothing but all x square. So x1 का square, x2 का square up to x10 का square, सबका वो समेशन देगा. Let's see, is it working? अब देखो, in previous calculation y का last value was 10,000, which is nothing but 100 का square. Now as we have done some small modification here, and if I execute, see, the y value is 43,145. So ultimately we achieved summation of all the values of x square. ठीक है, आई होप यू हैव अंडरस्टूड दिस. सो दिस इज वन कॉन्सेप्ट. अगर आपको ऐसे समेशन करना अगर होगा तो क्या करेंगे, सेम वेरिएबल यू विल ऐड इनटू दैट फंक्शन, एंड बिफोर द लूप you declare, you assign that variable equal to 0, so that it will not have any kind of effect here. ठीक है. Now second concept, it is just a modification of previous one. Now second, what I need multiplication product of x square, okay, where I is varying from 1 to n. Understood this? मतलब मुझे क्या चाहिए, earlier x1 square plus x2 square किया था, right? Now I need x1 square into x2 square into x3 square into up to x10 का स्क्वायर. इसका सब मल्टीप्लीकेशन चाहिए, कंटिन्यूअस सबका मल्टीप्लीकेशन होना चाहिए, राइट? सो अगेन वी आर गोइंग टू यूज द सेम कॉन्सेप्ट. हमने क्या किया था, y एक सेम वेरिएबल रखा था वहां पे डमी जैसा, वो क्या करेगा, स्टोर, कैलकुलेट भी करेगा और स्टोर भी करेगा, राइट? उसको ऐड करते थे. नाउ यहाँ पे मल्टीप्लीकेशन करना है, मतलब आपको मल्टीप्लीकेशन यूज करना पड़ेगा, मल्टीप्लीकेशन सिंबल, एंड उससे पहले y को डिक्लेयर करना पड़ेगा, right? But if I declare y as a 0, what will happen? पूरा का पूरा multiplication, कितने भी loop लगाओ, the answer will be always 0, right? So we need to assign y का value such that it will not have any kind of effect on the answer, but also it will not show me any kind of undefined variable y. So there is one number, जब भी आप multiplication या product करने वाले हो ना, y का value और the term का value 1 रखो. See, 1 into anything, so it will be the last term only, right? So if you do like this, you will get product sum, right? It will be just multiplication of all the term. Are there any doubt in these two concepts? Because यही दो concept हम Lagrange's interpolation में use करने वाले हैं. Okay, so now we'll go to the procedure or flow chart of Lagrange's interpolation. So in the Lagrange's interpolation, the input parameters are x vector, y vector, or x values and y values. Along with that, as this is the interpolation part, along with that there will be one x value for which we need to calculate y. ठीक है, तो x value दिया जाता है उसको y. Now remember, if I assign x variable for x1, x2, x3 for the first input data, I cannot use x variable for the calculation. ये वाला x रहता है ना अपना फॉर्मूले का जो x है, तो वहां पे यूज नहीं कर सकते, दो दो स्मॉल x हो जाएंगे. सो फॉर दैट I'll change this x variable to xr, and similarly y की जगह में I'll write yr. So remember here, in interpolation, yr is the unknown which need to be calculated for some value of x. So that x value I'll treat it as a xr. So in our program, you will start in a script file, then the input of x, y and xr you will provide. In curve fitting, only x and y are required, बट इन इंटरपोलेशन x y एंड xr, जिसके लिए हम वाई आर कैलकुलेट करने वाले, ठीक है। तो ये आपका इनपुट हो गया। नाउ दिस इज द इक्वेशन using which we calculate yr और y वैल्यू, ओके। इसका और एक सिंपल इक्वेशन है yr इक्वल टू y1 l1 प्लस y2 l2 सो ऑन अप टू yn ln। ये सिंपल इक्वेशन है। सो क्या करते हैं, ये सिंपल वाला इक्वेशन या दोनों में से कोई भी इक्वेशन यू कैन यूज टू राइट अ प्रोग्राम। नाउ सी, वेट अ मिनट, ठीक है। सो 5 more minutes are there. Now remember, I am going to have summation of all the y with multiplication of L values which is starting from I equal to 1 to n, ठीक है। ये समेशन करने वाले। अभी हमने देखा ये कैसे करेंगे, एक लूप लगाएंगे, फॉर लूप which will start from 1 go up to n, and here we will have summation of y into L, ठीक है। So for loop which will do the summation, which will calculate yr equal to y of I into L, ठीक है। L is the multiplication factor, this term, ये थोड़ा complicated दिख रहा है ना, वो term। Now we know that when you treat, you need summation of all the values. You don't need to calculate y1 and l1 only. आपको क्या करना है, इसमें ऐड करना है नेक्स्ट वैल्यू, सेकंड इटरेशन। तो उसके लिए हमने एक कॉन्सेप्ट अभी देखा, इसमें क्या करेंगे, वाई आर ऐड करेंगे, और ये लूप स्टार्ट होने से पहले और एक बार लिखेंगे वाई आर, एंड नाउ समेशन है तो 0, मल्टीप्लीकेशन है तो 1, राइट। सो डू दैट, वाई आर 0 देन वाई आर ऐड कर दिया, ठीक है। नाउ फ्रॉम दिस बिग कॉम्प्लिकेटेड फंक्शन we have excluded or done the part for this, ठीक है, and we have given a variable L to this function, okay। जो प्रोडक्ट वाला फंक्शन है उसको L नाम दे दिया है। तो क्या करते हैं अब, now we will only concentrate ourselves on this L, ठीक है, where I is varying from 1 to n, that means the next part, the calculation of L should be आफ्टर दिस फॉर लूप, आफ्टर दिस फॉर लूप, यहां पे एल के कैलकुलेशन करने, ठीक है। करते हैं फिर। नाउ फॉर द फॉर्मूला x माइनस एक्स जे डिवाइडेड बाय एक्स ऑफ आई माइनस एक्स ऑफ जे, दिस फॉर्मूला इज ड्रिवन बाय अ लूप which varies from 1 to n, the term is j, so j equal to 1 to n, एक फॉर लूप लगा दिया, एंड L का फॉर्मूला एज इट इज लिख देता हूं मैं, बट ओनली x के जगह आई हैव यूज xr, राइट। नाउ व्हाट आई नीड, एक्चुअल L, फॉर एग्जांपल L1 कैलकुलेट कर रहे हो, तो L1 क्या होता है, xr माइनस x2 डिवाइडेड बाय x1 माइनस x2 इनटू नेक्स्ट टर्म xr माइनस x3 divided by x1 minus x3 into, so मल्टीप्लीकेशन टर्म है, और अब भी हमने देखा था मल्टीप्लीकेशन में करना है आपको, तो क्या करेंगे, इसको मल्टीप्लाई विथ L, एंड बिफोर दिस लूप स्टार्ट असाइन L इक्वल टू 1, ठीक है। कर दिया हमने, मल्टीप्लीकेशन कर दिया L विच विल स्टोर द प्रीवियस मल्टीप्लीकेशन, ठीक है। नाउ so we have taken care of this part, this part. Next, there is one condition, j should not be equal to I. Yes, we know that whenever I value and j value are same, that means x2 minus x2 अगर होगा तो डिवीजन बाय 0 हो जाएगा और पूरा एरर क्रिएट करेगा। So to avoid I equal to j, what we will do, we will add a condition कि भाई जो ये इक्वेशन जो है L का फॉर्मूला, solve this L का equation only if j value is not equal to I value. Only if j is not equal to I, then and then solve this. Otherwise, don't do anything. Otherwise, don't do anything. Go for the next j value. Right? So I have added that condition here. If I not equal to j, if this value is true, then and then solve this. Otherwise false अगर होगा तो don't do it. False मतलब I is equal to j. Right? So we have taken care of this L also. So what I'll do, I'll merge earlier two programs. This was for calculating y1L plus y2L, and to calculate this L value we have written this small code. Okay, so we will insert this small code here. So we will have then complete code. So this is your complete code. So quick recap. These two are your input, three are input. This YR, sorry for that, YR should be equal to 0. No need to have a input as a YR. Then for loop 1 to n, assign L equal to 1. J loop will start from 1 to n. If I is not equal to j, then and then it will calculate Lagrange's L, otherwise it will skip, and it will run up to nth term. After that, print the value of YR. That's it. So this is your program or algorithm for new Lagrange's interpolation. So take a screenshot of this, which will guide us or which will help us in writing code for Lagrange's interpolation. In next class, we will cover flow chart of Newton's forward difference method. Okay, so if you have any query, you can ask. Otherwise, you can leave the session. Thank you, guys. Take a screenshot